Good morning, it's James. It is so good to see you today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. I'm deeply grateful to have the honor and the blessing of laying eyes on you. And I do hope and pray that this message finds you and all the people that you love peaceful, thriving, and very, very well. Oh my goodness, do I hope today's message does what it's intended to do, and that is to touch you if you are someone who is presently struggling with something that you know you need to do the work on, that you know you need to transform, that you know you need to change, that you know unless you do this, you are consciously choosing not to do something that may bring you the type of freedom, the type of peace, the type of growth, the type of fulfillment that your life is asking of you. This is a very personal message for me to you if you are in one of those places where you know the work at hand is something that you absolutely have in front of you to choose to do. Many of you have asked over the last number of years, what is it that I have done in my life to overcome many of the things that at one time in my life were in the process of killing me? And I don't want to sound dramatic, but the way in which I was abusing drugs and alcohol and not living up to what I knew my heart was asking of me, and more importantly, what my soul was calling for me to do in my mid and late teens, if I didn't make these changes, I know I wouldn't be here. Maybe I'd be here in terms of I'd be here in my life, but I would never, ever be here in this treehouse. I would never have the life that I have right now. I wouldn't have the marriage, the kids, the experience that I'm having presently. Many of you have asked, what did I do at that time that got me to really start to grow, to face darkness, to deal with the challenges that I had brought into my life? And how did I help myself to grow beyond those things? Well, today it's called ACT technique or ACT therapy. Acceptance, commitment, therapy, or technique, ACT. Back then it was just me reading and studying and getting an opportunity to get intimately connected to what I knew my delusion of myself was giving me. A continuous, perpetual, predictable life of pain. And it wasn't until I started doing some of the more, I'll call it mindfulness practices based on spending time in Nepal and India, learning some Buddhism, learning some Hinduism, learning some mystical practices that were all about the breath, that were all about mindfulness, that were really all about acceptance. Acceptance of what was, and having the courage to sit with it, to know it was affecting me, that it was real for me. And until I actually faced it and did the work, I was never going to evolve. I was never going to heal. I was never going to have the life that I knew in my heart, my soul, I absolutely desperately wanted to have. So if you're in a place right now, or you know someone who is challenged by either a historical situation that they can't resolve, a present situation that they're having a hard time facing, I'm going to ask you to consider what this therapy can do for you. These techniques will change your life and maybe even save your life. So you begin, if you will, looking at what it is that's in front of you, the challenge, or looking inside of you, what it is that's holding you back, the dark thing, the hard thing, the thing you're fearing more than anything. And you accept the fact that it's real in your life, that it's here, that it needs your attention, that it needs your love, that it needs your compassion, that it needs your acceptance. Not like, oh my God, this is just how it is, acceptance, but more, this is what I got to accept. This is real. I got to face it. I got to do the work. And that is where the C comes in. You commit to doing the work. You do the therapy. You do the practices. You make the phone call. You have the conversation. You do the work, whatever the work is asking of you. As part of that work, this is the thing that has changed more parts of my life than anything, is looking at a virtue in your life. My virtue has always been courage. My virtue has always been self-compassion. My virtues have always been a fearlessness to want to grow and evolve and become. And I put those virtues to work while I'm committing to do the work. Courageously, fearlessly, compassionately, openly, lovingly, I do the work. Every single day, something pops up in my life. And it probably does for you too, right? Something just pops up, you go, oh man, this again? Or this thing is really, really triggering me. This thing is scaring me. This thing's making me sad. This thing brings me pain. Well, please, give yourself permission to address it. Get professional support, do the work on your own, do whatever it takes to act, to accept it, to actually see how you can commit to doing the work. And then if it speaks to you, bring a virtue in. I have a beautiful feeling in my heart that you have many virtues. The fact that you're in this community, one of them is a commitment virtue. One of them is a spiritual virtue. One of them is a compassion virtue. Definitely one of them is a love virtue. Use those virtues to face what it is that we need to face. Commit to doing the work. And know the healing is in the action. The healing is in taking responsibility. The healing is in loving yourself enough to dig deep, find what it is that needs to be done, and do the work. We don't all of a sudden arrive in enlightenment, but we do all of a sudden know that we're present for what is, and we courageously do what we need to do. It has been life-changing and life-saving for me. And as I look at you this morning, I think to myself, where would I be if I didn't do this 40 some odd years ago? I can tell you I wouldn't be here with you right now. And that just makes me that much more humble, excited, and full of what it is that makes me feel this way about this community and my life. Thank you, God. Thank you, community. Thank you for this life that we have right here and right now. Much love. Every blessing. Bye for now.